Am I the asshole for talking about when I was pregnant, even though I don't have children? Long story short, I can't carry to term. Any time I was pregnant resulted in a miscarriage, sudden loss, and one time it was at 24 weeks. I'm okay with this. I'm not as maternal as I thought I would be, and am happy to be child-free, even if it was not by choice. I understand these are the cards I was dealt. As such, I keep mainly to myself. When we were working outside of home, 3 women in my office became pregnant. I was more than happy to celebrate with them, etc. well into their late terms, and celebrate when they had their kids too with gifts. During these times we'd talk about pregnancy cravings, etc. I'd talk about mine, and we'd laugh about it. Only one person in the office knew about my situation. Now that way work from home we communicate basically through text, another is pregnant. And we started talking about it all again. The one person who knows my situation in my office messaged me privately telling me to stop talking about when I was pregnant, because I'm not a mother and since I won't be I shouldn't contribute. Not gonna lie, truth kinda hurt but I understood why she said that. However now I feel like the asshole for ever talking about it, and maybe she's right. Not the asshole the coworker messaged you as a massive asshole just because your baby is not in your arms does not make you any less of a mother. Not the asshole. You weren't contributing your experience with motherhood, you were talking about pregnancy. # you've been pregnant. Not the asshole. Wow, that comment to you was brutal. Like I had to check your profile to see if you were obviously trolling brutal. Your coworker is an asshole. This seems like a relationship-severing statement for them to make. This might also be the sort of thing that might be worth recording and bring up with HR, your boss. Not the asshole unless you're saying things like, when I was at your stage, before I lost my baby. Only because that specific turn of phrase would freak a pregnant woman out about miscarrying. If your conversations don't typically turn awkward, there's no reason for you to pretend you've never been pregnant. Sorry if this is overdramatic but I feel like the coworker who privately told you you couldn't talk about your very real pregnancies because you're not a mother, should be terminated from that job or reprimanded in some serious way. However you may feel about the situation is up to you, but nobody in a work setting has any right to say those things to you. That's completely over the line. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. What do you mean you understand why she said that? Her comment was just cruel and not okay. You experienced pregnancy and have the right to talk about it. You're discussing pregnancy, not parenthood. What if you weren't emotionally okay with your situation and talking about it with people was helping you somehow? Her comment is gross. Not the asshole. You were pregnant before and I don't think that just because you miscarried, your experiences are invalidated. She's the asshole to tell you that. Not the asshole. Never ever ever ta. You were pregnant. You have experienced pregnancy. I'm so sorry that you are unable to carry to term and I can't even comprehend your strength. This person needs to keep their opinions to themselves. End of. When someone is pregnant, ill, struggling or just experiencing something new, it helps massively to be able to talk about it. It can just be being heard or hearing other people's experiences to know you aren't alone. I just don't understand the logic behind the comments made to you. You'd never tell someone not to talk about their driving tests just because they didn't pass. Or tell someone who survived cancer not to talk about it because they beat it. You were pregnant. You experienced it and your advice and support could really help someone. Not the asshole, but the person who anointed herself the pregnancy experience gatekeeper certainly is. Not the asshole. You were pregnant. I'm sorry that you can't carry to term. You shouldn't miss out on other people's joy if that makes you happy. Not the asshole. I've been pregnant 6 times and have never been able to carry to term. I'm an old hand at the first trimester. If someone told me I shouldn't contribute to discussions regarding pregnancy I would absolutely lose my shit on them. Tell her to eat rocks. Not the asshole. Your coworker is just cold and unfeeling. May she never have to go through the pain of multiple miscarriages as you did. If this affects your work or work relations, I'd save those PMs and submit them, just in case, to your HR department. Even if they don't do anything they still have something on file. Not the asshole if you ate comfortable sharing, do it. More power to you since it seems very healthy, and you shared the experience too. You're a strong ass woman. Not the asshole you were pregnant. therefore you are allowed to talk about your experiences if you are comfortable doing so. Your coworker can STF you. Info. Do you really wonder if you're the asshole for talking about real-life experiences that are relevant and appreciated by the people you're discussing them with? Not the asshole. What a hurtful thing for that coworker to say, as if your experiences with pregnancy don't count because they had sad endings. She just doesn't want to be reminded of those possible outcomes, and in doing so prefers to pretend that you were never in the same position as these happy mothers to be. You can decide for yourself which parts of the conversations to share in and which to stay silent about. Miscarriage is not contagious, and people can talk about pregnancy without being mothers. You're not being an inappropriate downer with the types of things you're sharing, so don't let her tell you that you can't belong to the club. Not the asshole. She's totally wrong. Telling you that and the justification sound like something someone would come up if they were intentionally trying to be cruel. Is she liked around your office or is she the person everyone can't stand? Not the asshole. She's completely wrong and ridiculous. You may not be a mother but you were pregnant. That is your experience and is yours to talk about. There's no reason for you not to join in with shared experiences. Whether or not you decide to become a mother has nothing to do with your being pregnant previously. I would politely tell her to go kick rocks and that you are free to talk about your life and your experience anytime you want. Being pregnant doesn't always end up with being a mother and does not erase what happened to you. Not the asshole. Telling you to not share, contribute because you don't have a child is so insensitive. No one else in your office seems to have a problem with your situation but this coworker, so you should share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. Hey op, I just wanted to say I'm so sorry for your losses. My first baby was born and died around 24 weeks. I understand what you are going through. You are a mother. You will never stop being one. You have every right to bring up your experiences. What should you be doing? Burying it and pretending it never happened? How healthy? Pregnancy and infant loss is a taboo, I know. It makes people uncomfortable to acknowledge it. But it pales in comparison to the discomfort our grief brings us. If we can endure it for a lifetime, so can they for a few minutes. Not the asshole. These are your experiences and you have a right to talk about them. It's not like you are talking about something you never experienced. The person who texted you was being a jerk and was out of like with what they said. Not the asshole. In no way are you the asshole. You have every right to talk about your experience as a pregnant woman. Your coworker can shove it. Not the asshole. 62% of pregnancy results in live birth. You are a part of that other 38%. Your experience matters in pregnancy and you have a right to share it. Honestly, how dare she? You were pregnant. You experienced being pregnant. You have every right to talk about it. You are most definitely not the asshole. You are not the she is. I know you don't see yourself as a mother, but even if you only have angel babies, I consider you a mother. Anyways, that doesn't make your pregnant cues any less. You have every right to discuss as you see fit. Not the asshole. You have every right to talk about pregnancy. You have been pregnant a couple of times. Not the asshole. You are not barred from sharing good stories and bonding. Eventually they may innocently ask about your pregnancies. I would just be prepared with the same explanation you gave us, that sadly you are not able to carry to term, but you've accepted it and you're happy to be happy with them and share their experiences with them. I wouldn't go into detail unless they ask, if you'd even want to, which I would definitely understand if you don't. Because when I was pregnant it felt like everyone wanted to share their scary stories with me and it freaked me out. Not the asshole. I really can't even believe she would be so callous. She is the biggest asshole I've seen here in a while. Of course you can talk about your experiences. Kudos to you for being so involved. There's plenty of women who wouldn't be able to participate in your shoes. Perhaps she knows she wouldn't be able to and it's making her feel awkward. She needs to grow up. Not the asshole. You were pregnant, so you're allowed to speak about being pregnant. You deserve to contribute, and what she said was vile. That coworker is insensitive and the devil, and I hope they step on Legos every day for the rest of the year. NTA. We have an 8-week-old and one of our best friends lost hers. We valued her advice, insight and empathy, even though she didn't come to term. Not the asshole. She way overstepped her boundaries. You are talking about pregnancy, which you did experience. It seems kinda heartless what she said. Is the woman who told you child-free or have children too? You are a mother. You don't just stop being a mother because your child doesn't live anymore. Not the asshole. The coworker is way out of line. That woman was way out of line. It is not up to her to police your conversations about your very valid and very real experiences. I would text her and tell her exactly this. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. But it's extremely taboo to draw attention to or remind new parents or expecting parents of the risks to pregnancy and newborns. It's a hard situation to navigate. You were actually pregnant though, so your coworker is the a-hole for invalidating your experience. Shame on that person. If they get their legs amputated, I bet they'd still talk about when they had legs. Not the asshole. I'm shocked by your colleague's request. Your input is just as valuable as anyone else's. You were pregnant and lived through the symptoms. It's not like you are telling stories about a fake child. I've been pregnant twice and miscarried. And I sure as hell remember feeling like I was going to throw up for 3 months straight and having my boobs hurt so bad I thought they would just rip out of my skin. Baby or not, I was still pregnant. Not the asshole 100%. And your coworker is a total not the asshole. Just because you couldn't be a mother doesn't take away the experience of being pregnant. It seems light-hearted and fun talk and you can definitely give your 2 cents. Simply tell your coworker that no, you weren't given the joy of an actual baby like they will have and instead were given miscarriages. She should be ashamed of trying to shame you for joining in on these conversations. You suffered terrible loss that she clearly can't understand. Wonder if she's ready to be a mom if she's so cold. Not the asshole. You were talking about your experience with pregnancy, not motherhood. Your experience isn't somehow less valid because it didn't result in a birth. What a weird take your coworker has. Not the asshole. That is not okay. It's good that she messaged privately, but what she said isn't okay. If she had said it with concern that talking about pregnancy might mean you are opening yourself up to uncomfortable questions, that would be more okay. But that's not how she said it. I'm sorry for you having to go through those experiences, and glad that you're okay with it now. As much as it sucks to say this, please be mindful about how you talk about being unable to carry to term, if it hasn't come up already, especially if it's the pregnant coworker's first child. Your outlook and acceptance of how things are is great. I'm glad it's something you can talk about. Not the asshole. Your experiences during your pregnancies were completely valid and you are contributing by relating to the other pregnant women. This person does not know your mental state around your pregnancies and her comment was extremely out of line. You should contact our, like another commenter said, just because your babies are not physically with you, they will always be a part of you. I'm sorry for your losses as well and that you had to go through them. Not the asshole. Damn, that person has a heart of ice. You're very polite. I would have gone off. You deserve to commiserate full score. Not the asshole. You've had the experience of being pregnant so you are allowed to talk about pregnancy. You've got all the necessary qualifications. You have experience and the right to talk about it. You're not the asshole. Not the asshole. The one person who knows my situation in my office messaged me privately telling me to stop talking about when I was pregnant, because I'm not a mother and since I won't be I shouldn't contribute. What a massive asshole. Like, holy fucking shit. That you weren't able to have a live birth doesn't erase the fact you were pregnant. Also, for someone who knows your situation, it was also an exceptionally cruel comment. Not the asshole. At all. What the actual fuck to the person who told you to stop? You were pregnant, and if any of your coworkers questioned it I'm sure they would understand if you told them your history. There's literally no reason you shouldn't be allowed to chat just like everyone else and offer support or insight. Not the asshole. You were pregnant. It was an experience you've had. I wonder if she'd say the same thing to someone who had put a baby up for adoption or was a surrogate. Not the asshole. Fuck that coworker. You are a mother. Just because you didn't get to hold your children in this life, doesn't make them any less real. Sending all my love, hugs, and prayers to you, mama. Anyone who devalues you as a mother can catch these fucking hands. Not the asshole, but my guess is that your coworker may have really wanted to be a mother but was infertile and since she can't participate in that conversation she's lashing out at you because she's jealous that in some twisted way you at least got farther than her? I know it doesn't sound rational when I say it like that, and I might be totally off lol, but from her POV if that were the case I'd understand. She's still the asshole OFC, but I'd understand. Not the asshole. I loathe people like this. I am absolutely a mother, as are you. No, I didn't get to nurse my daughter, but my body went through the changes. I still had cravings, and mood swings, and all the other ups and downs of pregnancy. I just didn't get to have the experiences that come after a child is born. That doesn't make you, or me, any less of a mother, and it doesn't invalidate our experiences during pregnancy.